Okay. Wow. Trump is in a full-blown panic. We know he is because he's already, threatening to sue the Wall Street Journal and just screaming fake news after they expose this sickening letter he sent to Jeffrey Epstein. And it has a hand-drawn naked woman on it. Before we get into it, do me a huge favor and hit that like and subscribe button for me, and drop a comment telling me what you think about all this. The MAGA cultists and their whole media machine, they are working overtime to just bury this story. So, your engagement is genuinely the only thing that helps us fight back against their lies. So this thing he sent, the report describes a typewritten note, and it's framed by this crude outline of a naked woman sketched with like a heavy marker. And the really depraved part is where he put his signature, a squiggly Donald, placed right below her waist to, mimic pubic hair. And if that wasn't vile enough, the letter closes with a line that will absolutely make your skin crawl. Quote, "Happy birthday, and may every day be another wonderful secret." End quote. A wonderful secret. A wonderful secret shared between Donald Trump and a notorious child sex trafficker. Just let that sink in for a second. You don't have to be a detective to understand the kind of disgusting secrets these two creeps were celebrating together back in, 2003. Another wonderful secret. Just let that phrase sink in for a minute. This is coming from a guy who was pals with a serial child sex trafficker. Honestly, you don't need a forensics team to figure out what kind of sick secrets these two were sharing with each other. Of course, when the Journal confronted him about it, the great Donald Trump, he went into a total meltdown. He did exactly what he always does when he's caught red-handed. He just lied his face off and screamed that it was all fake. Here's his pathetic word-for-word denial quote, "This is not me. This is a fake thing. I never wrote a picture in my life. I don't draw pictures of women." End quote. Oh, you don't draw pictures of women, Donald? Really? This is coming from the guy who bragged about grabbing them, the guy who has this disgusting history of misogyny a mile long. Forgive me if I just don't believe a damn word you say. And then comes the classic move from the wannabe strongman's playbook. He threatened to sue the Wall Street Journal. This is what guilty people do, isn't it? They try to bully and intimidate journalists into silence because they just can't defend themselves with the truth. And right on cue, his cowardly little sidekick, Vice President JD Vance, he jumped onto social media to do damage control for his boss. It's honestly just pathetic. It's pathetic how fast these cultists rush to defend the indefensible, isn't it? Vance went on this whole tirade, posting, quote, "Forgive my language, but this story is complete and utter bulls." End quote. He sounded less like a vice president and more like some, panicked flunky trying to clean up a chaotic mess. Then Vance tried this ridiculous line of attack. He was asking why the Journal didn't show them the letter before publishing. JD, that's not how journalism works. They don't need a permission slip from the people they're investigating, you clown. And let's talk about the timing of all this, because it's incredibly suspicious. This story breaks just as Trump's hand-picked Attorney General Pam Bondi is getting slammed for refusing to release more evidence from the Justice Department's Epstein investigation. It really looks like a complete cover-up. You see that when you learn that the DOJ just fired Maureen Comey, who was a top prosecutor who worked on the Epstein and Maxwell cases. Yeah, that's James Comey's daughter, who Trump just couldn't wait to fire as FBI director. This whole thing feels like a political hit job, plain and simple. They are systematically purging anyone who could hold them accountable. Firing a prosecutor and hiding evidence while your boss is being exposed for writing some perverted letter to a predator, that behavior goes way beyond suspicious. That's the behavior of a guilty administration. The Wall Street Journal even reported that this birthday album, the one with Trump's sick drawing in it, was examined by the Justice Department years ago. So So where is it now, and why won't Attorney General Bondi release it to the public? Trump's handlers, they always trot out the same lame excuse, claiming he had some falling out with Epstein before the guy was first convicted back in 2008. But this letter is from 2003. It doesn't sound like a friendship that was on the rocks. It sounds like two freaks sharing a sick inside joke. The whole idea of friendship in Trump's world is it's completely transactional, isn't it? He doesn't have friends. He has assets and he has liabilities, and he only cuts people loose when they are no longer useful or they become a political problem for him. So when Trump claims he broke up with Epstein, that wasn't some kind of moral awakening. It was a cold calculation from a lifelong narcissist. And those wonderful secrets he wrote about, those are exactly what his corrupt DOJ is now trying to keep buried forever. We should also remember the other names the article mentioned, the people who also wrote letters for that sick birthday album. We're talking about people like the lawyer Alan Dershowitz and the billionaire Les Wexner, all part of Epstein's powerful circle of friends. But I just can't get past the drawing itself, The absolute crudeness of it, sketching a naked woman and then signing your name as her pubic hair, that is something a twisted middle schooler might do, not a supposed captain of industry. It speaks volumes about his diseased mind and his fundamental contempt for women. He views them as props for his own gross amusement, not as people. It's a view he clearly shared with his good friend Jeffrey Epstein. So when this pathological liar looks a reporter in the eye and says, "I don't draw pictures of women," it has the same value as every other lie he's ever told. The man is simply incapable of telling the truth, especially when that truth exposes him for the degenerate he is. And this matters now more than ever. The details are from 2003, but the story is about the character and judgment of the man who, right now, is making decisions that affect every single one of us. A man with this kind of poison in his soul should be nowhere near the levers of power. But here we are, with his cronies in the highest offices of government running interference for him. You have to ask yourself why people like JD Vance and Pam Bondi do it, why they debase themselves to defend this garbage. I think it's because they are part of a political movement that has zero moral compass and is completely addicted to power. The entire MAGA project is built on the idea of wonderful secrets, isn't it? It's this whole political identity built on winks and nods about who is and who isn't a real American. And it's fueled by the corrosive secret that the rules just don't apply to them. Frankly, thank God for the journalists at the Wall Street Journal who had the courage to publish this story even after being threatened by the President of the United States. This is exactly why a free press is so essential to a democracy, to expose the rot that people in power try so desperately to hide. At the end of the day, this whole discussion should really be about justice for the victims of Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. For Trump to have been celebrating his disgusting secrets with that monster is just a profound betrayal of every single person who was harmed by their criminal enterprise. That letter, it's a window directly into his soul, and what it reveals is a dark, empty, and pathetic space. This is a man whose entire sense of self is built on bullying, misogyny, and the thrill of getting away with it. The drawing, the denial, the threats, the cover, it's all the same story we've seen for years. It's a story of a man who despises accountability and will attack anyone, from journalists to prosecutors, who dares to get in his way. This is not normal. We cannot let the MAGA cult gaslight us into thinking it is. This level of moral rot in a leader is a massive warning sign for the health of our democracy, and we ignore it at our own peril. So let me know what you think in the comments below. What's the most damning part of this story to you? The sick letter itself, the blatant cover-up by his administration, or the pathetic, predictable lies he told when he got caught? Make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications so you never miss a video. We have to keep exposing their wonderful secrets until there are none left to hide. Thanks for watching. Bye.